We had a major heavy thunderstorm on Saturday. Today is July 9th. Saturday would have been the 7th, I believe. And this tree that I've been worried about for a long time finally came down. Fortunately, the top snapped. It did land on that building, but this is the view right outside my window. So it literally just fell short of my window. And if you look, you can see there's even a remnant stick right there that landed right near my place. So it missed everything of value and importance, including myself and where I live. So I'm very grateful for that. We'll get some more video of this from some other angles, but I just thought I would give you a perspective of just how close this came to me. Okay, and so it's the next day, and we're outside, and this is the top of that same tree I was showing you. You can see the top of that broke off in 3 separate sections. None of those are small. I'll climb up here a little bit and show you more. Okay, so here we are up on top of the roof. That's probably about 12 or 14 inch diameter at the base on that one. That one probably a little more. There is a small hole in the roof. Small considering how hard this came down. Oh yeah, there's a hole there. So that will need to be patched. I'm not going to climb out on that because I have no idea how much of the structure is intact underneath me. Anyway, this was a huge tree, and fortunately it missed that space where I still have some of my stuff. So that was good. But this is some mess to clean up. Alright, that's the tree. I think I'll keep this as a separate video. Oh, it also took out the half of this elm. Fortunately, that didn't land on that building either. Sorry that the sun's in your eyes. I haven't had a chance to do anything I've been trying to get done. There you go, that's a better angle, I guess. You can see the other one there. So yeah, that was quite a storm. I probably won't get to it today, but there's other trees in the property I'll show you that came down in that as well. Alright, that's it on this. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network. Just thought I'd get a clip of another tree that came down. This is another, well, half of a massive hard maple. And came down right across the access road here to a cache of some of the farm equipment I have here. And believe it or not, man, I was being watched and protected for sure, because it didn't land on anything valuable on me. It totally missed my cache area off that way, and even the rake that I had leaning up against the tree here, even though these branches came down and landed all around it and actually hit the rake, it actually didn't break it. So yeah, pretty happy about that. And looks like there's a cute little bird over there going through grubs or something. Looks like he's having a great time. Alright, just thought I'd share this clip here. I'll try and get a shot of the stuff by the ram pump too. Well, here we are down at the ram pond, the ram pump pond, the spring pond. Most of you are familiar with this angle of the pond. This is looking down at the outlet of the pond. The ram pump is off here to the left. If you listen closely over the birds, you can probably hear it running. Anyway, this huge maple came down across the pond, and we'll walk around and I'll show you how big that tree was. This is the dam of the pond and the kind of access pathway to get to the ram. It was quite a large tree. It snapped right off. I had been considering dropping that and a couple of other trees on this dam because if you take the permaculture course and they talk about dam building, one of the things you don't do is let tall trees grow on dams because they can fall over with the root and uproot and basically make a massive hole in your dam. So you try not to have tall trees in here. I think these are pretty heavily anchored in here. These are old trees, and I think they were even here before some of this dam was here. So I think they've grown in quite deep. But either way, enough babbling about theoretical things. This tree was quite a good-sized maple, and right down across the pathway. And it's another one that's a good thing I wasn't under it when it came down, because it certainly would have splattered me, would have made me into a grease spot. I'll have to look in here when the sun is out. I'll bet the turtles come up on these logs now, and at some point when I get the tractor back, I'll probably haul this out of here, but that is going to be quite a job. It's a pretty heavy chunk. I'll have to chunk it up and pull pieces out. Anyway, so that wasn't so bad, but we'll walk on down to where the ram is, and we'll take a look at some of the other limbs and branches that fell close by around it and missed it. Again, I was very fortunate in this storm that nothing actually took damage. So there's a couple of large dead trees. I think that one's going to go that way and not come back on the ram over here. So I haven't gotten around to dropping that one. But we definitely had a couple of good-sized limbs come down here. Well, not limbs, branches come down here that if they had fallen from the top of that tree and landed on the ram pump, I'm sure they would have broken some of this PVC. This stuff is pretty strong, but it doesn't take impact and fracture very well. So, again, very fortunate. It missed everything of value. I mean, missed everything of value within inches, again. So I'm happy about that. That storm did bring in about 3.5 or 4 inches of water, and over the past couple days that's showed up in the spring. And so the standpipe is up at good standing again. We're up to the purple tape at least, if not the green tape. So last night when I came down here and did a checkup, I saw that even though we were running on 2 magnets, it was still standing nice and high. So I had the 3rd magnet weight, so we're pumping about 0.8 gallons a minute now. So that's good water delivery, which is awesome, because even though we had that rain, things are growing fast and they're needing lots of water. Unfortunately, between the large reservoirs and the ram pump still functioning, I'm able to do that. Nice to have a more normal season so far this year. Let's hope that holds for the season. Alright, we'll go take a look at some other down trees that also didn't do any damage, fortunately. Alright, we're back to that perspective looking down on the pond and the tree. Just to the right of that, there's this pathway that goes back to the backfield. The backfield is where I did the mimicking grazing videos and where I mow down the goldenrod late in the season. Actually, I'm just doing that now, and then let it grow back, and then we have another round of goldenrod for the honeybees late fall after all the other goldenrod is done. So it gives a second stage and helps prevent dearth of the bees. Alright, that said, this tree, and I didn't even notice this tree as having the potential to fall down in here, but this whole thing came down across our gateway entrance here into the backfield. So that'll have to be cleared as well. Don't know when I'll have time to get to that, but it's certainly on the to-do list. Fortunately, I started putting that other roadway in the other way back in the winter, and so I can get in to get to mulch and all that kind of stuff through the other entrance. So that's that. Now we'll go look at the giant elm that fell on the ram pump line and didn't damage that either. So we're back to that same spot where we were looking down in the pond. We just walked over and looked at that. If we turn 180 degrees, the ram pump delivery line runs up this single mow width pathway up that hill to the reservoirs, the ram pump, beehives, and the farm. There was this huge elm tree that I looked at cutting down back in the winter for firewood, and opted not to. I just didn't have time to deal with it because it was pretty covered in vines, and I figured it would come down on its own at some point anyway. I did analyze what direction it was leaning, and I didn't feel it was going to fall on the elderberries, which that is our massive elderberry bush right there. And it did come down on some of that. It broke a couple of its branches, but not bad, so I'm not complaining there. The ram line, the delivery line, runs right under here, and this tree fell on it and obviously didn't damage it because we're still pumping water and I have no leaks as far as I can tell. This is quite a large tree also. You know, a good 14-inch diameter at the base. So be another thing to clean up when the tractor comes back. And this is where the new roadway is going to come down to the back to get away from that side slope as discussed in previous videos. Anyway, I think that's everything that fell in that storm, and obviously it missed everything of value. So I did say a little prayer of thanks after that. I feel really blessed not to have lost anything to that, considering the intensity of that storm and the amount of trees that it brought down and the damage that it could have done. That's it. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network.